Hello, welcome back. The Swaggart family has long been a powerful name in Pentecostal Christianity, but recently they've been hit by a painful loss that has left their followers stunned. Gabriel Swaggart, the grandson of evangelist Jimmy Swaggart and son of Donnie Swaggart, shared the heartbreaking news during an emotional service, and his words carried a weight that showed how deeply personal this moment was. For a family so tied to ministry, music, and faith, the announcement has caused an outpouring of support while also raising questions about how they will carry on in the wake of grief. The Swaggarts are no ordinary ministry family. Their legacy stretches back decades, starting with Jimmy, who became one of the world's most influential televangelists in the 1970s and 80s. His fiery sermons and gospel music reached millions, and though scandals in the late 80s threatened his influence, he never lost his core supporters. His ministry endured, eventually expanding into the Sun Life Broadcasting Network and continuing through his son Donnie and grandson Gabriel. Donnie became a strong presence in the pulpit, often known for his bold and fiery sermons, and many saw him as the bridge between Jimmy's generation and a younger audience. Then came Gabriel, who has been positioned as the future of the ministry. With his youth conferences, leadership in Crossfire, and role in Family Worship Center, he has drawn in younger believers and given the Swaggart name a fresh relevance. That's why this loss has touched so many. It's not just a family grieving, but a ministry family whose life has been lived in the spotlight. Gabriel's announcement came unexpectedly during a service in Baton Rouge. Known for his upbeat energy, he spoke with a trembling voice as he admitted the family was going through a painful season. He did not reveal every personal detail, but the emotion in his voice said more than words could. He reminded listeners that grief is universal, that even people of great faith are not exempt from sorrow. For many watching, it was one of the most vulnerable moments they had seen from him, and it gave a raw honesty that drew people closer. Donnie too was shaken. Known for his strong personality, his tone softened when he later addressed the congregation. He admitted that being a preacher doesn't shield one from trials, and in some cases, the struggles feel even heavier. His words carried both pain and resilience, showing that while grief had deeply affected him, he still held on to faith. Jimmy, the patriarch, was also visibly touched by the loss. At his age, every new hardship carries the weight of mortality, and his presence during these moments reminded people that no one, no matter how well known, is immune to heartbreak. The reactions from the public were immediate. Social media was filled with messages of love, support, and prayer. Many shared how the Swaggarts had ministered to them during their darkest times, and now they wanted to return that support. Some admitted they were shocked, since the family often seemed larger than life, but this reminder of their humanity made them even more relatable. In the days that followed, insiders described a quieter atmosphere within the ministry. Gabriel reportedly spent long hours in prayer, leaning on scripture while carrying a visible heaviness. Donnie focused more on his family, choosing to step back from some public responsibilities to be present with his loved ones. Staff and congregation members rallied around them, bringing meals, offering prayer, and creating a space where the family could begin to heal. Even through the sorrow, seeds of hope began to appear. Gabriel's preaching took on a new depth, as though his grief gave him a greater connection to the struggles of his audience. Donnie's messages became gentler, filled with compassion and an emphasis on family and endurance. Jimmy's simple act of sitting at the piano and singing hymns carried a profound emotional weight, with songs becoming more than music, they were living prayers. The family also began prioritizing their private lives more, spending more time together and reminding themselves that legacy is built not only in public ministry but also in the intimacy of home. For their global audience, this season became proof that the Swaggarts are not just preaching faith, but living it in the middle of sorrow. Their vulnerability drew even more people to their broadcasts, with viewers saying the rawness of their words made their faith feel more real. What was once a question of whether this loss might weaken their influence has instead turned into a moment of deeper connection with those who watch and listen. Still, questions remain about the future. How will Gabriel's leadership be shaped by this season? Will Donnie continue to balance boldness with the tenderness grief has given him? And how will Jimmy's presence as the family's anchor continue to guide them? What is clear is that this heartbreaking chapter has changed the family forever. It has shown their followers that even those who seem untouchable walk through valleys of grief. And in doing so, the Swaggarts have reminded the world that faith does not erase pain, but gives the strength to stand in the middle of it.